Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 1 of Fritz the Foodie, breaking it down, all the good news about food. And currently, my computer is a few years out of date to download any of the editing software that I would like. So I'm just going to be doing these in one go and trying to keep within the allotted time frame. Made some notes for today, and we'll just try to keep the momentum going, I guess. From episode 0. So today we're going to talk about the very basics of food, because this is episode 1. So what are the most basic elements of food? It would probably be energy, material. That's really it. So moving on, you would have light. And then you would also have some sort of fertilizer or fertile lump of matter, and then that would create some sort of plant. So we're going to focus on the plant. So a lot of plants, pretty much all plants, they have 3 basic key components, macronutrients that they need. Besides just water and sunlight, they need nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. And it always pisses me off that the sign for phosphorus is K. Like I'm just supposed to be okay with that? It's like it's K. Anyway, if you're like me and you've ever tried to grow one of those like decorative little basil plants, or I don't know, mint plants that you can buy at the grocery store, you will know that growing those plants, especially from scratch, is a lot like yoga. It's not impressive. It takes way too long. You fail at it for reasons you just can't understand. And again, when you succeed at it, it's not impressive. As you can maybe tell, I'm not a huge fan of growing my own plants. I don't like failing at things that are not an accomplishment to begin with. So yeah, that's just one of the things about plants. Nowadays, we have all kinds of crops, and they get turned into fibers and fuels. And I've heard even in Thailand there are some flammable plants as well that can be inhaled. I might have to investigate that a little later. But going back to fertilizers. So there are some really cool, fun foodie facts about how fertilizers, originated and what people use. But the basic down low OG fertilizers were just shit, piss, and blood. Animal blood. So they'd basically just take all their shit and piss and blood and throw it into the field, and then plants would grow. And everyone was just like, cool. And it's kind of funny that it was only in like 1699 that a scientist actually did an experiment to see what plants like. And on the off chance of seeming a little bit like idiocracy, I'm gonna explain how that experiment went down. As far as I can tell, it went kind of like this. Well, I'm going to see if a plant needs anything except for distilled water. And a farmer is like, why would you do that? And the guy is like, well, I have this spearmint here, and it's a pretty common saying that you shouldn't shit where you eat. So I'm just gonna do this little project to see if my spearmint loves me more than you. And the farmer is like, all right, well, I can't read or write or do any math or speak proper wordage, so do your thing, dude. All right, the results are back. It turns out that my spearmint wants more than just plain distilled water. You can have her. and I call her my experiment. So that's pretty much, that shit was proven with math, literally. Speaking of shit, this is the first Fritz's Fun Food Fact of the series. And just thought I'd get the worst one out of the way early, because this is going to be likely the shittiest episode of the entire series, because this is my first try, although, who knows, tomorrow might be worse. But coprophagy is the technical term for gobbling feces. And a lot of your favorite rodents do it, like mice, rats, hamsters, guinea pigs, all of them. Plus, surprisingly, baby elephants and baby giant pandas, which is surprising. And one is to gain not only like the vitamin B and vitamin K that can be produced by the gut bacteria while the food is being processed, but also to gain the bacteria themselves, because they're best suited to break down some of the harder fibers in the and therefore potential nutrients of the existing local environment, which I find very interesting. So if you see your dog trying to eat feces, which they do, it could just be that maybe they don't have the enzymes required to get the nutrients out of their dry food. Like, they have a great nose, that they can taste the stuff. So if they want to eat shit, just maybe give them something else. But if nothing's working, let them eat shit. I don't know. Moving on, or backwards, completely shifted. By 1860, early hydroponics was starting to be verified. Not only in the idea of, okay, plants do indeed soak up nutrients just through water and we don't really need the soil, but also that when they do that, they grow larger and they grow more seeds. And so that was pretty cool. And also in 1930, and I find this amazing, because in 1930, that's when soil became cool. And people were like, well, if we don't need soil, then like, what's the magic behind soil? Like, why can't we just grow all this shit in water with nutrients? And so people started looking at soil and then salinity, and then they're like, wow, did you know that, your soil can be too salty? And it's just, it's one of those moments in history where I just pause and I just feel a little smile creep onto my face, because it's like, duh. People have been talking about salting the earth. It has like a huge, rich history. Just look on the internet. Like, people have been salting the earth. It could even be where the term assaulted came from, because it just means you like sprinkle salt all over the earth so that nothing can grow there, and it's just barren and dead forever. And in 1930, so less than 100 years ago, it was the first time scientists were like, wait, salt makes Earth bad. And it's like, well, I can't wait to see where we're gonna go from here. Because, it just makes you wonder, like, how much is just brain dead common knowledge that scientists just haven't looked at yet. Just haven't given it a quick once by and just been like, yeah. And that's it. That's credibility, I guess, and that's what builds realities. Anyway, in 1910, Haber-Bosch method for synthetic nitrogen really blew up, and that's what sparked a lot of innovation and revolution. And it also created intensive farming, which is what we know today, or industrial agriculture, even though agriculture was an industry before, but now it's like way more industrial. And again, we still got potassium and phosphorus, but now the nitrogen can be synthesized. And so that was pretty cool. And then World War II happened. And Mr. Haber, whose name was Fritz, Fritz Haber, so I had to do a little digging on that one. he's considered the father of modern agriculture. But then World War II, he started making chemical weapons, and he is also the father of chemical warfare. Agriculture, chemical warfare. And what's kind of funny is that his last name, Haber, means haver in English, which is an old Scottish word for bullshit, which I just gotta wonder if there's like a little like farmer spirit just going to heaven right now laughing. Anyway, so one thing that's cool about the introduction of synthetic fertilizer is that it created such an abundance for all, relatively, that people could move into cities. And so part of the reason why you're sitting in your tiny little apartment and you're listening to my melodic voice just ripping on you while you fold your laundry like the peasants from thousands of years ago. You could go on your phone right now, open up an app, order a delicious meal from a land halfway around the world with the same proper ingredients, have it delivered to your door, and pay it with a tap of your card, and yet you are still folding that laundry like you did thousands of years ago. We need it. Anyway, the good news about food is that this episode is coming to an end. We're going to keep it around 12 minutes. And I hope that, I know how long it takes to fold laundry, so hopefully you'll stick around and binge the second episode right after this. Fritz the Foodie, signing off. I think that we totally nailed that. And like my father once told me in probably his own wisest words, shit matters.